Animated Anarchy series presents the Animated Hour of Power.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We are here. We are live. We are late, but that's because of me, because I wanted to finish watching the Royal Rumble. And
Do you regret it?
no, I mean, it was still a good show. I mean, no more than I regret doing a show with you guys. But anyway, but so this is Animated Hour of Power, episode 25, part of the Animated Anarchy series. And of course, I am your host, Dutchie, joined as always by Money E.
What's up?
All right. Sean is here.
Hello.
And back after we missed it. Well, Eric missed him last week. Wildcard Dave is here. Get it? Yeah. Yeah, Eric actually tried to convince his mother to go to church next week so he could miss the show just because you weren't here.
I believe it.
Because he's just like, I can't do the show without Dave.
I understand.
I
understand. I am a great sport in his decision making.
Yeah. Yeah. You are the preferred tookus that he decides to kiss. And not because he likes you the best, but because Sean and I don't shave back there. But anyway,
confidence, Doug.
I don't know. Sometimes I just treat this like a episode of Taxi Cab Confessions. All right, but
I'm grabbing my pen real quick. I forgot it on my table.
All right. So tonight's battles are. It is going to be Mike, Lou, and Og versus Lucas the Spider. We're also going to have Code Geass taking on Sword Art Online. We've also got Samurai Jack versus the Mummy animated series. And the main event is Thundercats versus Biker Mice from Mars. By the way, in Code Geass versus Sword Art Online, if Code Geass sweeps, then Code Geass is in that upper echelon. If Sword Art Online gets swept, they move to the bottom tier. And if Samurai Jack gets swept, then they move to the bottom tier. But so we're going to have 5 categories picked via the randomizer. Mm-hmm. And then these 3 guys are going to judge. If a show wins 3-0, it's 30 points. 3-1 is 20 points, 3-2 is 10, and then 5 for the loser. And if you are swept, you lose 10 points. All right, can everybody see the screen?
Yep.
Yep.
All right, here we go. 1 click. And all right. How do we feel about these, Dave?
Could be better.
Yeah.
I like voice acting as one.
Yeah.
At least Sean's favorite is last.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so it's going to be humor, fan base, voice acting, memorable moments, and merch.
Interesting that humor starts it, because that's kind of judgment. That's like basically judge your own judgment. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer for that.
Yeah.
I guess.
No, there's usually no right or wrong answer when it comes to that. It's just basically like if you found it funny or not.
Yeah. And there's some shows that are remarkable. I mean, better than others, but that are pretty obvious. I mean, you know.
All right. And now we'll go ahead and we'll get started. The first battle of the evening is Mike, Lou, and Og taking on Lucas the Spider. And Mike, Lou, and Og in the division of Elizabeth Yee. I believe they are 0-1. Let's see. Mike, Lou, and Og in the division of Elizabeth Yee, and they are 0-1, negative 10 points. Lucas the Spider in the division of Gary Lutz, and they are just 0-1. So if Mike, Lou, and Og get swept here, then they move into that bottom tier. The first category is humor. Which show was funnier? Dave, you had a week off, therefore you get the start.
I'm gonna go with Mike, Lou, and Og here. I thought it was a little more witty, a little more sarcastic. I feel like it was the dialogue was a little faster paced too, which I enjoyed a little more. I feel like Lucas the Spider was just like gentle and wholesome. It didn't really have like great humor. I feel like the humor was for really small children.
Yeah.
Mike, Lou, and Og, I feel like it had more of a broader audience for its humor. So that's why I went with them.
All right. Sean?
Yeah, no, I agree. I put Mike, Lou, and Og for this one. Lucas the Spider is just kind of like that. What Dave said, it's like the child humor simplified.
Right. All right. Eric?
Yeah, I agree with these two. The Spider is more educational and more just not funny.
All right. Mike, Lou, and Og is going to take the first category. They're 1-0. So they cannot get swept. We move on to fan base. Who had the bigger fan base, Sean?
I put Lucas the Spider. Just because unfortunately, it's like newer and has a huge fan base with children because it's a kid show.
Yeah.
Mike, Lou, and Og kind of just has that nostalgic fan base.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Eric?
Yeah, I agree with Sean. From the research I did, Spider does have more fans because it's made for little children, little kids.
All right. Dave?
Yeah, I agree with these guys. Lucas the Spider, I think it has a extremely high popularity. Has a lot of YouTube subscribers as well. It's very active on YouTube and Cartoon Network. I feel like Mike, Lou, and Og just doesn't really have that fan base, and even during its original run, it had low ratings as well. So,
right. All right. 1-1. So there will be no sweep happening here. We move on to voice acting. Whose voice acting was better, Eric?
I put Mike, Luke, and Og. I just think the voice. I think there was more of a voice there. I think, and I thought it was better.
Okay. All right. Dave?
yeah, I'm agreeing with Eric here. I thought the dialogue was faster paced. It's not really super slow, which I enjoyed. It's more normalized. I feel like it was more genuine, and they're a little more charming with their voice acting. I feel like in Mike, Lou, and Og. So I enjoyed that a lot better. I feel like they were more professional as well with their voice acting.
Okay. All right. Sean?
Yeah, sweep it. Mike, Lou, and Og.
All right. They're up 2-1. They can win it in this next category, which is memorable moments. Whose moments were more memorable? Sean, you get to start.
I put Mike, Lou, and Og. I think, neither show really has a lot of memorable moments.
Yeah.
And I don't think Lucas the Spider really has any moments at all.
Right.
Because of the style of the show.
Yep.
So I gave it to Mike, Lou, and Og just for the concept of what their show is about. It's a wholesome moment, I guess.
Fair enough. All right, Dave.
I'm going with Mike, Lou, and Og. Mainly because of like Og's inventions. They were pretty unique to me, so they're kind of memorable for me. Like his 27 speed bike, and his juju bombs and stuff like that. It was pretty memorable for me, so I went with them. Like Sean said, Lucas the Spider, it wasn't really memorable for me.
Fair enough. All right, Eric.
Yeah, sweep it. I didn't find any memorable moments in the spider. At least there was some little bit in like losing on.
All right, Mike Lewin-Og is going to win 3-1. They're going to get 20 points. Lucas the Spider will not lose anything, but Mike Lewin-Og also finds itself out of the negative territory. So now we move on to one of the more interesting battles, I think. It is our anime battle for the episode. It is Code Geass taking on Sword Art Online. Code Geass 1-0, 30 points in the division of Jordan Savala. Sword Art Online 0-1, negative 10 points in the division of Sarah Russo. By the way, they live together. They are roommates. So I did this on purpose. They both know I did it on purpose, because I can do that. But if Sword Art Online gets swept, they move to the bottom of the barrel territory. If Code Geass does the sweeping, then they move into that upper echelon. So we'll see how this goes. We start with humor. Dave, this is your genre, so therefore you get to start.
Yeah, I'm going with Code Geass here. I just thought there was more humor in it. It's more intentional humor, like ridiculous high school scenarios and whatnot. They got the chaotic comedic scenes too. I thought they did a pretty decent job in. Sword Art Online, I feel like the humor was unintentional if it was there, but it's more of a serious anime. There's not a lot of room for a lot of humor.
Right.
So I think Code Geass takes this one.
All right, Sean.
I went actually with Sword Art Online. I just based it off of which one I was laughing at a little more, and I thought, Sword Art Online was just a tad bit funnier.
All right. All right. I hate this because the one thing that I hate more than giving the guy who fell asleep on the wrestling show last week any power is giving you power, but you get to break the tie.
I'm agreeing with Dave. I just found Code.
Oh, what a shocker.
You missed me. What can I say?
Dave, at least do Eric and your wife wear the same shade of lipstick? So you can't tell whose lip prints or whose?
I'm not sure. You'd have to go over that with both of them. I don't really get into the girly thing, so I don't know how to tell the difference.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a Jurassic change in color, like if
Well,
one's purple, one's red. But
at least we don't know that he looks at his backside in the mirror. So at least he's not one of those people. All right. So Code Geass is going up 1-0, 2 more, and then they sweep. So if Dave picks Code Geass at least 2 more times, then we know that they're probably going to win because we know that's the way Eric's going to go. All right, we move on to fan base. Who had the bigger fan base, Sean?
So everything that I saw online, I went with Code Geass on this one. I think it just has a slightly larger following.
All right.
Sorry, I was in the middle of coughing.
You're good. Yeah, Eric, you're going next because I'm not giving you the opportunity to switch.
I didn't switch in that other one, but whatever. I went with Sword. From what I read, it seemed like Sword had more the fan base.
All right, Dave, you get to break the tie.
Yeah, and I'm going with Sword Art Online. It's definitely got the more massive, more global mainstream success. It's got a high active vocal fandom. Um, I feel like Code Geass is more of a, it's like a classic, but it's also gets a lot of hate because it it in the later seasons it kind of doesn't go with like the concept of the story doesn't fall in line with how it was supposed to. So it's considered a flawed classic. Um, at the second season, plot pacing and whatnot. But so I feel like because of that, and because Sword Art Online is a little more mainstream, has a little more broader audience, it has more fans. So
Fair enough. All right. And see, this, Eric, since he went last, I can't accuse you of just kissing his backside with your vote. So, all right. 1-1. There's going to be no sweep. We move on to voice acting. Eric, you hate this category, so you get to go first.
I went with Sword. I thought the voice acting was better, and from what I read, they had more recognizable actors.
All right.
I could be wrong there, but who knows?
Right. Well, Dave, is he wrong?
yeah, I went with Code Geass here. I think it's definitely better overall voice acting. In the English dub in particular, I feel like they are one of the preferred English dubbed animes. I thought they did a really good job. In Sword Art Online, their Japanese voice acting is great, but their English dub is okay. It's mid tier to me. Their voice acting for the English dub. You watch it in the original dub though, it's fantastic. But because the English dub, I'm going with Code Geass.
All right.
Fair
All right.
enough.
Sean, I know you hate this, but and we're only 18 minutes in, but you get to break the tie.
I gave this one to Code Geass. Actually, I like their voice acting a little better. I thought the delivery and emotion was better. The connection between characters were better.
Lelouch.
All right. All right. So Code Geass is up 2-1. They can win the battle in this next category, which is memorable moments. And you know what, Eric, let's start with you. Whose moments were more memorable?
I went with Sword Online. I found the storylines better and just more memorable.
All right. Sean.
I'm sticking with Code Geass, mainly just because of what I just said. Like the acting kind of made for better moments.
All right. All right. Dave, important decision here. You get to decide whether or not this goes another round or we just end it here and then move on to the next battle.
Yeah, this one was a little bit tough because I thought they really both had decent moments. But for rewatchability moments and stuff like that, because when I think like they both have good moments, then I go to rewatchability and like what has better moments to rewatch. And for that, I would probably go to Sword Art Online. I think it delivers more emotional highs in these moments, in these memorable moments, in their specific arcs and whatnot. So that's why I went with them. Sometimes their memorable moments though are kind of a little decreased because the fillers. Sometimes, which I think Code Geass does a great job in not doing that. So that's why it was so close for me. But in the end, I give Sword Art Online this one.
All right. He's just trying to get an anime out of the negative. All right. So we have it's tied 2-2. We go to category 5. Both shows are going to get points. And the category is merch. Dave, who had the better merch?
I'm actually going to go with Code Geass here. They might have a smaller fan base, but I think they offer higher quality merchandise. They have a dedicated fan base that likes that merch as well, and they excel in different areas on on that merch. So I went with Code Geass here.
Right.
They also have a really good artistic style and unique collectibles. Um, so I thought that was nice.
All right, Sean.
This one was hard because I couldn't really find anything, but the one thing I did find was that Code Geass had the like higher priced merch, so that's why I picked them.
All right, Eric.
I went with sword. No, yeah, code. From the research I did, code had better, higher prices and more rare stuff.
All right. They're going to win it 3-2. They're going to get 10 points. Sword Art Online is going to get 5. So now Sword Art Online is only at -5. So they're starting to build themselves out of the hole. Code Geass is going to get an extra 10 points. So they're going to be at 30. However, it was close. We move on to the next battle, which is Samurai Jack versus the Mummy animated series. 2 0-1s. Samurai Jack has -10 points. The Mummy animated series has no points. Samurai Jack in the division of Tiffany Zell. The Mummy animated series in the division of Sharon Wander, who is my aunt. And we start with humor. Which show had the better humor, Eric?
The Mummy. I found myself laughing more with that show, so I went with the Mummy.
All right.
Can I go next?
Go ahead.
I went the opposite way. I went with Samurai Jack here. I think the humor of Aku was pretty funny. He had pretty good timing for like his dramatic narcissism and stuff like that. His pettiness, I think, kind of makes him pretty funny. It's dry humor, but I feel like sometimes like it's like because it's not like not one where they talk a lot, but sometimes the animations are kind of funny and what they do with it. So I think Samurai Jack with is more innovative with its humor. It's more like using visual storytelling and timing rather than just jokes itself.
Right.
That yeah, that's perfectly how I try to put it.
All right. Sean, it's been 6 minutes since you've had to break a tie.
So this one was hard to me because both of them were kind of like equally as funny, but I lean more towards Samurai Jack just for the maturity level and delivery on such humorous jokes.
All right. Samurai Jack gets 1-0. They're not going to get swept, so they're not going to go into bottom tier. So they dodged that bullet. All right. Fan base is the next category. Samurai Jack is Cartoon Network. The Mummy animated series is based off a movie. Whose fan base was bigger, Dave?
I'm going with Samurai Jack. I feel like it has a longer lasting fan base, a more dedicated following. I just feel like the Mummy, the animated series, just doesn't have a lasting impact like Samurai Jack in that fan base regard. So that's why I went with them.
All right. Sean?
I actually went with, I'm just kidding. I went with Samurai Jack too. I think the premise of the show and everything had so much captivating material that like it just had a bigger fan base than the Mummy,
Okay.
trying to spawn off the movie.
Right. All right, Eric.
Yeah, I went with these guys. The research I did told me Samurai Jack.
All right, Samurai Jack is up 2-0. One more, and then they sweep. So that'll definitely get them out of the hole. But we move on to voice acting. Whose voice acting was better, Sean?
I think the Mummy, or I'm sorry, no, wrong one. Samurai Jack. I like their cast lineup a little better. I think they had some better, well-named voice actors.
Okay. All right, Dave.
See, this one was tough because I feel like the Mummy had more of a cast, but I'm going with Samurai Jack here. I thought the Emmy-winning performance of a coup is enough to put him over the edge here. And Phil Lamar, I think, did a really good job as well. Um, so, and a little bit of versatility, I feel, with like doing like a alien type dialogue, and like the human dialogue. So I thought that was pretty unique as well.
All right, Eric.
Yeah, I went with these guys. So sweep it. For no reason. Yeah.
Eric's just like, they explained it enough. I'm not talking anymore. Just, yeah. All right, Samurai Jack is going to win at 3-0. They sweep. They get the 30 points. The Mummy moves down to -10. They are now 0-2. Samurai Jack kind of climbs back into things. Main event time. And this is going by kind of fast, but good. All right. It is Thundercats versus Biker Mice from Mars. Thundercats 0-1 in the division of Patrick Lehman. Biker Mice from Mars 0-1 in the division of Kathy Bianco. Neither show has any points, so they don't have to, really worry about, going into any tiers or get excited about going into an upper echelon. But we start with humor. Who had the better humor, Sean?
I put Biker Mice from Mars had the better humor. Thundercats' humor was very dull and kind of pathetic, in my opinion. I'm sorry, it's probably going to sound like I'm real biased on this one.
Well, and let me just say this.
I don't think it's biased.
Well, and here's what I'll say about it. I'll say what humor. I didn't find Thundercats funny at all.
Neither did
Exactly.
Yeah, I was just trying to word it politely.
The only humor that came from that, if you can even call it humor, is the bumbling villains.
I would have said the show in itself, but yeah, that works too. I'm sorry. I'm gonna pick apart.
Don't hate that much, dog.
I mean, wasn't this like a show your dad liked or something, or one of your brothers?
My parents like it. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
but
we can't accuse Sean of favoritism.
Yeah.
I can accuse him of trying to sabotage me entering a Royal Rumble pool. But,
honestly, I didn't even know what it was. I thought you were just commenting on someone's status.
Yeah, no, it was, and that's like the thing, because I knew like we were just joking around, but like in the back of my head, I'm just like, if he screws this up for me, like I'm gonna be mad. But then knowing the group that I'm in, they kind of all took it the same way.
Yeah,
because they know who you are. They know you. They know you do the show with me.
Oh, okay.
So, well, they know they know that you're in the group. Because I think I added you into the group, or I invited you to join it, or whatever. So they know that like you are associated with me. That's why they're just like, all right, well, they're just like, well, he comments all the time. This guy's just giving him a hard time, and that's what we do in this group. So
yeah,
it didn't really,
except for Dave.
Yeah, well, no, that's what they do in the Facebook group the pool that I was joining. Like they mess with each other all the time. So that's why it's just like, all right, well, we're not going to do, but like in the back of my head, I'm just like, oh my God, if this gets screwed up, like I'm not going to be happy, but like Sean and I were just kind of, friendly banter back and forth when he's just like, I'm going to have you removed. And it's just like, go ahead. I can free up my Saturday nights. All right. Dave, go ahead.
Yeah, we're still doing humor?
Yeah.
Okay, I went with Biker Mice from Mars here. I just thought it was high energy, kind of pun heavy, a little sarcastic wit in there. Definitely had a lot more humor than Thundercats.
A lot more.
Yeah. All right. Eric?
Yeah, I went with Biker. I didn't find the Thundercats funny. It was more of a serious action show.
Yeah. All right. So Biker Mice is up 1-0. So now we move on to fan base. This one might be a little more lopsided.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You got the smug look on your face, so you can go first.
Yeah, as much as I like both shows, but it's Thundercats all the way here. The research I did, which I probably obvious, but I still did research just to make sure. It's Thundercats.
Well, it was one of the more popular shows of the 80s.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what.
It was
I'm
one of the
sorry.
more popular shows of the 80s, and Biker Mice was kind of just touted as kind of a ripoff of Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. It was still a good show, I think.
Oh, no, it's a very good show. But, like, Thundercats had a huge fan base.
Yep. Isn't your brother a Thundercats fan?
Not, I don't think so. I don't think he really knows what Thundercats is, because that was way before his
okay. I
time.
thought your brother was a fan of that.
I
must be thinking.
one of my like I have friends who are fans of Thundercats, but all right, Sean, go ahead.
Yeah, I have Thundercats. I think it's undeniable that they have a very large and dedicated fan base.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, Dave.
Sweep it. We're going Thundercats here. It's definitely got a larger, more mainstream fan base.
All right, now next category is voice acting. By the way, nobody's getting swept here, so I mean this might not be a close battle, but it could be kind of close. We move on to voice acting. Dave, you're going to start.
I went with Biker Mice from Mars here. I just like the dialogue a little better. It's a little like I enjoyed it a little more. Delivering their dramatic, kind of high stakes performances type deal. It's high energy. I thought they brought a really good energy. I thought the dialogue was a little better too. So I'm going with Biker Mice from Mars here.
Okay. All right, Sean.
Yeah, well, sorry. I went with Biker Mice from Mars.
Oh, never mind.
I think, well, we all know how I feel about this era of voice acting for shows like Thundercats and He-Man.
Yeah, you're not an 80s voice acting kind of guy.
No. So yeah, that's strictly why I went with Biker Mice.
Right. Eric?
Not that it matters, but I went the opposite. I went Thundercats. I just found the dialogue a little better for myself.
Fair enough. All right, Biker Mice is up 2-1. They can win it in this next category, which is memorable moments. Whose moments were more memorable, Eric?
Thundercats. I just found it more memorable. I thought the storylines were better, and that therefore I found the memorable moments better.
All right, Sean.
I went with Biker Mice from Mars here. I just think the whole premise and the setup of the show is so much better than Thundercats that it makes it memorable because of also how like wild and tacky it is.
Yeah.
And
All right.
Thundercats, I feel, is just kind of like a dull rip-off version of everything else in that time frame.
Fair enough.
Sorry, Mom and Dad, if you watch this.
You could say the same thing with Biker Mice.
Yeah. I'm being very nice.
Just saying.
All right, Dave, you get to decide if this goes another round or not.
And I think it does. I'm going Thundercats here. I think they definitely have the more iconic moments for me, like the Lion-O trials, where they're going through the trial of evil, and he's a young lion, facing the Mum Ra without his teammates or the Sword of Omens. I thought that was pretty memorable. Um, you got the dramatic villains that I thought were pretty memorable as well. And you got some high stake episodes that I just thought captured the moment a little better than Biker Mice from Mars. Their memorable moments were more like catchphrases for me, or like, just a little chaotic sequences or something. That was what was memorable for Biker Mice. But I felt like Thundercats did a better job here.
All right, fair enough. We're tied 2-2. It's going to go a fifth round. And by the way, the fifth category is merchandise. Sean's
Really not
favorite.
fair.
All right. Now, you just said it's not fair, right?
Yeah.
Well, you're kind of wrong. Not
okay.
fully. If you go by valuable, collectible, because Biker Mice merchandise, especially their action figures, is up there with Thundercats.
Going for
Now-
like
Okay.
2K.
Yeah, like
Because I see some Thundercats figures going for like 2K.
yeah, Biker Mice stuff can go pretty high.
Okay.
So it can, like, they are valuable, they are collectible, they're hard to find. So now Thundercats may have had more of a variety, but Biker Mice did very well in the merchandise department. And Sean, you hate this category, so you're going first.
I gave this one to Thundercats. I think they're the bigger name and have everything I saw or found. I had Thundercats like winning by a mile.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're definitely the bigger name. But like I said, sometimes the bigger name, having the bigger name doesn't necessarily matter, because if you catch on even just for like a year, people go out there and they're just like, oh, this was so cool. I need to have this. I need to find this.
Yep.
So, Eric?
Yeah, I went with Thundercats. So I kind of gave it away with my comment. So, yeah. From the research I did, and because I think they got the head start with their merchandise, so that's that too.
All right, Dave?
Yeah, I agree with these two. I think Thundercats has the superior, higher value and more enduring merchandise. So I think it performs a little better, and even in a casual way or a collector value way.
All right, fair enough. All right, Thundercats is going to win at 3-2. They're going to get 10 points, but Biker Mice is still going to get 5 because it was close. It was a lot closer than I think anybody probably would have thought, because
Yeah.
Thundercats was pretty popular back in its day.
I didn't think it was gonna be close.
You didn't think it was going to be close?
No, I thought they might have got swept.
What, Biker Mice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the categories that we got.
Yeah. So it was close. I mean, I was kind of expecting a sweep too, but it would have been different with different categories. So
Exactly.
the categories definitely helped there. All right. So this upcoming Wednesday on Animated Showdown, we are going to have, it'll be episode 25. We are getting closer towards the end of stage 2. We only have a couple weeks left. But Animated Showdown this Wednesday afternoon. It's going to be Avatar: The Last Airbender versus Adventure Time. Parasite the Maxim versus Dragon Ball Super. Angry Beavers versus Goof Troop. Tarzan, Lord of the Jungle, takes on the spectacular new adventures of Casper the Friendly Ghost. And Dexter's Laboratory faces Count Duckula in the main event. By the way, if Dexter's Laboratory sweeps, they're in the upper echelon. And if Count Duckula gets swept, they're in the bottom of the barrel. Now, next Saturday, episode 26 of Animated Hour of Power, we're going to have Rising of the Shield Hero take on Dragon Raja. This is going to be a doozy. Galaxy High is going to take on the Wild West Cowboys of Moo Mesa. Kaiju number 8 takes on Ninja Kamui. And the main event is going to be Dr. Stone taking on Hell's Paradise.
Oh, I like that main event.
Yeah. Good thing your camera's not on right now, or else we'd probably get kicked off of YouTube. But all right, so now we are heading toward, like I said, this is the end of stage 2. We've only got a couple of weeks left, and we're starting to see there are certain shows that are kind of rising out of the ashes, and we're starting to see like shows that are there are some shows that are big surprises. Like last week, we had Gravedale High sweep Star Wars Droids. Now, luckily, I'm still alive. I'm not a hologram. So I was not, murdered by any Star Wars fans because Star Wars Droids got their cans handed to them last week. But we are getting to the point. We have 13 shows right now that are in that upper echelon because they're 2-0 with 60 points. And we'll see on Wednesday, there could very well be a couple more. Make sure to like and subscribe to the When Tunes Combine YouTube channel. Join the Facebook group, facebook.com/group/When Tunes Combine. Also, like and subscribe to the Wrestling Through the Years podcast YouTube channel. This Friday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we are going to be talking Unforgiven 2006. Royal Rumble just happened earlier today. We had a pool between the 4 of us on the wrestling show, Clineth, Dangle, Eric, and myself, because Clineth was closer with with who he thought was going to win the Women's Rumble, or the number he thought was going to win the Women's Rumble. He got to pick this week. So he falls asleep on the show last week, and now 2 weeks later he gets to pick a show. So that's how this works. But Unforgiven 2006 next week, or this upcoming Friday night. Also, make sure to find Sean on TCAX Reaper on Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, and Kick. Follow Wildcard Dave on Twitch at TCX Godsend95. Like and subscribe to Eric's Unscripted Sports Show on YouTube, the Stabcast with Dangle and Mindy on YouTube, and of course the Dizzle97 YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe to that on YouTube and join the Twitch. We will see everybody on Wednesday.
Peace.
Peace.
Later. I know. Take care of the short.